Self-respect is the quiet power that makes a woman unforgettable. It is not about arrogance. It is not about proving that she is better than others. It is about knowing who she is, what she values, and what she will and will not allow in her life. A woman who understands her worth doesn't chase after people, approval, or attention. She doesn't try to mold herself into what the world demands. Instead, she attracts because she carries herself with a sense of inner certainty that cannot be faked. People are drawn to her not because she pleads for their validation, but because her very presence communicates strength and dignity. When a woman respects herself, she changes the energy of every room she enters. She is not desperate to be liked, and that makes her magnetic. You see, desperation repels, but confidence attracts. She doesn't need to scream her value, it is reflected in her actions. The way she carries her body, the tone of her voice, the decisions she makes, they all echo the same truth: she knows her worth. That self-respect creates an aura of authority that makes others take notice without her even trying. Self-respect also shapes the choices she makes. She does not settle for relationships that drain her, environments that belittle her, or opportunities that don't align with her values. She understands that everything she tolerates teaches others how to treat her, so she doesn't allow mistreatment to take root. She doesn't beg for love. She doesn't cling to friendships that have expired. She doesn't accept less than she deserves. This strength to walk away is not born from pride, but from clarity. She knows she is not losing when she lets go of what dishonors her. She is making room for something better. Her self-respect becomes her shield in moments of testing. Life will always bring critics, challenges, and disappointments. But the woman who respects herself does not crumble under rejection or collapse under judgment. She may feel the sting, but she does not let it define her. She understands that her value is not up for negotiation. If someone fails to see her worth, it doesn't lower her value. It only reveals their inability to recognize it. And so, she continues to walk with her head high, grounded in who she is, rather than what others think. This kind of woman becomes irresistible because she sets a rare example. In a world where so many people are chasing, begging, and bending to be accepted, she stands as a reminder that there is another way. Instead of asking, "Am I enough?" she lives with the quiet confidence that she is already enough. And people are naturally drawn to this strength because deep down, everyone longs for that kind of assurance. She becomes the mirror that shows others what is possible when you choose self-respect over self-doubt. The beauty of self-respect is that it is not loud, it is not showy, it is not performative. It is not about shouting, "I know my worth." It is about silently embodying it. Her boundaries speak for her. Her choices reflect her standards. Her energy communicates her truth. She doesn't need to convince anyone to value her. She simply lives in alignment with her worth, and the world adjusts accordingly. This is why a woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she attracts, because her self-respect is the most irresistible quality she carries. Grace under pressure is one of the clearest signs of maturity, and it is what sets a truly grounded woman apart from the rest. Anyone can appear composed when life is smooth, when circumstances are easy, and when the world applauds them. But true strength reveals itself in the storms, in the moments of conflict, in the times when emotions run high and uncertainty surrounds every step. Maturity is not measured in how loudly someone reacts, but in how calmly they choose to respond. A mature woman understands that grace under pressure is not weakness, it is wisdom in action. When challenges arise, she resists the urge to let panic or anger take control. She knows that her energy is too valuable to waste on outbursts that solve nothing. Instead of matching the chaos around her, she becomes a contrast to it. Her calmness creates a pause in the storm, and that pause changes everything. This doesn't mean she feels no fear or frustration, but it means she refuses to be ruled by them. She channels her emotions in ways that strengthen rather than weaken her. In her silence, in her steady tone, in her composed posture, people sense a presence that steadies them too. Grace under pressure is also about emotional discipline. A mature woman doesn't allow temporary feelings to dictate permanent actions. She knows that one word spoken in anger can destroy trust, one impulsive reaction can break relationships, and one uncontrolled outburst can damage her own peace. So she takes a breath, she thinks before she speaks, and she chooses her response with intention. This discipline does not come from suppressing emotions, but from mastering them. She has learned through experience that true power is not in losing control, but in holding it. Her calmness under pressure earns her respect. People remember the one who kept her composure when everyone else was losing theirs. They trust her judgment, they admire her steadiness, and they seek her presence in difficult times. In workplaces, in families and friendships, she becomes the anchor others lean on. And that trust makes her influence grow quietly but powerfully. She does not need to demand leadership. Her grace under fire makes her a natural leader. There is also a beauty in the way she chooses perspective. Instead of magnifying the problem, she focuses on solutions. Instead of blaming others or drowning in self-pity, she asks, "What can I learn here? What is within my control?" This shift in mindset allows her to rise above situations that would break others. She doesn't deny pain or difficulty, but she chooses to meet them with dignity. That choice makes her stronger with every trial, and others cannot help but admire the resilience shining through her calmness. Grace under pressure does not mean silence in the face of injustice or passivity in the face of hardship. It means responding with strength rather than reacting with weakness. It means speaking truth without cruelty, standing firm without arrogance, and moving forward without bitterness. It is the balance between courage and composure, between heart and mind. This balance is what makes her magnetic, because it is rare to find someone who can be both soft and strong at the same time. The mature woman knows that storms will come and go, but the way she handles them defines her character. By remaining calm when others collapse, by showing patience when others rush, by choosing dignity when others choose destruction, she reveals a level of strength that cannot be faked. This grace under pressure becomes her signature, her silent power, her unshakable presence that draws people toward her without her ever needing to demand attention. Boundaries with compassion are one of the most powerful qualities of a mature woman. She understands that without boundaries, she loses herself, and without compassion, she loses her humanity. The balance between the two is what makes her presence so irresistible. Boundaries are not walls that isolate her from the world. They are lines of respect that define where she ends and where others begin. And when she sets them with kindness instead of anger, people feel not rejected but respected. This is why her boundaries become a source of attraction rather than conflict. A woman who lives with boundaries knows that her energy, her time, and her heart are sacred. She does not allow everyone unlimited access to them because she understands that what is sacred must be protected. She does not overextend herself just to please others, nor does she say yes when every part of her wants to say no. She has learned that people-pleasing leads only to exhaustion and resentment, while healthy boundaries lead to peace and strength. And yet, she sets those boundaries with grace. She communicates them with love, not hostility, making it clear that her limits are not punishments but expressions of self-respect. Compassion is what softens those boundaries. She does not cut people off with cruelty, nor does she build walls so high that no one can reach her heart. Instead, she sets limits while still seeing others with empathy. She may decline an invitation, but she does it kindly. She may correct someone who crosses her line, but she does it respectfully. She may walk away from a relationship that harms her, but she does it without bitterness. This ability to hold her ground without losing her tenderness is what makes her rare. Boundaries with compassion also protect her relationships. Without boundaries, resentment grows. Without compassion, coldness grows. But when the two coexist, love has space to flourish. Friends, partners, and colleagues feel safe with her because they know exactly where they stand. They do not have to guess or fear sudden explosions of anger because her boundaries are clear and consistent. At the same time, they never feel devalued because she communicates them with warmth. This combination creates bonds built on mutual respect, not control or dependency. Another reason this quality is magnetic is that it shows emotional maturity. It is easy to react with extremes, either to give everything away or to shut everyone out. But it takes wisdom to live in balance. She refuses to drain herself for others, yet she also refuses to harden her heart. She knows that she cannot pour from an empty cup, so she fills herself first, then shares from a place of abundance. This approach teaches others by example that you can love deeply without losing yourself, that you can care for others without abandoning your own needs. The woman who practices boundaries with compassion also creates an atmosphere of dignity around her. People quickly learn that they cannot manipulate her, guilt-trip her, or control her because she will not allow it. Yet they also learn that they can trust her because she does not wield her boundaries as weapons. She uses them as tools of clarity. This balance makes people want to stay close to her because being around her feels both safe and empowering. In the end, boundaries with compassion are not just about protecting herself, they are about elevating her interactions with the world. They allow her to give her best without burning out, to love without losing herself, and to lead without crushing others. They reflect a deep understanding of human connection, that respect for oneself and kindness toward others must always go hand in hand. This is the quiet strength that makes a mature woman unforgettable, because she has mastered the rare art of drawing lines with love. Consistency over chaos is one of the most magnetic traits a woman can carry, because in a world where so many people shift with the wind, her reliability becomes a rare kind of strength. A mature woman understands that trust is not built in one grand gesture, but in small, steady actions repeated over time. People are drawn to her because they know where she stands. They know she will show up, they know she will follow through, and they know her words will align with her actions. This dependability is what makes her not just respected, but deeply irresistible. Chaos is easy. Anyone can make promises in moments of excitement. Anyone can declare change in moments of passion. Anyone can speak beautifully when emotions are high. But when the emotions fade, when the excitement is gone, when pressure arrives, most people collapse back into inconsistency. The mature woman refuses to live like that. She understands that her integrity is measured not by what she says in the moment, but by what she repeats daily. Consistency is her language of loyalty, and it speaks louder than any declarations ever could. Her consistency is what gives others peace of mind. In relationships, people do not feel like they are walking on eggshells with her. They know she won't be warm one day and cold the next. She doesn't play games with affection. She doesn't manipulate with silence, she doesn't vanish without explanation. Her steadiness makes people feel safe, and safety is the foundation of attraction. In workplaces, her consistency makes her indispensable. Colleagues and leaders trust her because she doesn't just shine in moments of attention, she performs in the unseen, ordinary days too. Reliability is rare, and because it is rare, it becomes magnetic. Consistency also reflects her commitment to herself. She doesn't only show up for others, she shows up for her own growth, her own values, her own principles. If she commits to a goal, she works at it day after day, even when motivation fades. If she sets a standard for her life, she honors it even when no one is watching. This kind of discipline builds an inner strength that makes her shine without her ever needing to brag. People admire her because they can see the quiet fruits of her dedication. What makes her even more compelling is that her consistency doesn't mean rigidity. She knows how to adapt, she knows life changes, she knows flexibility is necessary. But she adapts without losing herself. She bends without breaking. Even in change, she remains steady in her values. That balance between flexibility and reliability makes her a source of stability in unstable times. Others look to her not just for guidance but for inspiration, because her life is proof that consistency is not about perfection but about persistence. The reason consistency draws people in is because it creates trust, and trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection. Without trust, relationships crumble, teams fail, dreams collapse. But when a woman embodies consistency, she becomes someone people can lean on. And that reliability is deeply attractive because it is so rare. She doesn't need to demand attention. She doesn't need to prove her worth loudly. Her steady actions speak for her. Every time she shows up, every time she keeps her word, every time she chooses discipline over chaos, she reinforces that she is a woman who can be counted on. In a world that celebrates instant gratification, constant change, and fleeting commitments, the woman who chooses consistency over chaos stands out like a lighthouse. Her reliability builds trust, her steadiness creates safety, and her quiet discipline makes her unforgettable. This is why her presence feels magnetic. Because in her, people find what they crave most but rarely encounter: stability, strength, and the reassurance that she will be the same today, tomorrow, and beyond. Wisdom in silence is one of the most striking qualities of a mature woman. In a world that is constantly shouting, constantly rushing to be heard, constantly competing for attention, she has learned the value of listening. She does not feel the need to fill every space with her voice, because she knows that presence is not measured by volume but by depth. She listens more than she speaks, and when she does speak, her words carry a weight that lingers long after the conversation ends. Her silence is not emptiness, it is observation. While others rush to respond, she takes the time to understand. She watches the details others miss, she absorbs the emotions others overlook, and she sees the patterns others ignore. This attentiveness gives her an edge, because by the time she chooses to speak, she has already grasped the full picture. People lean in when she talks because they know she has considered more than just her own opinion. Her words carry authority not because they are loud, but because they are rooted in clarity. A mature woman understands that silence can reveal more than speech. In her quiet, she can see who truly respects her, who is comfortable with stillness, and who needs constant noise to feel important. She uses silence not as a weapon, but as a filter. It shows her who values depth and who only values distraction. That awareness protects her from wasting time on shallow connections and strengthens the relationships that truly matter. Her silence becomes a form of discernment, a way to separate the genuine from the superficial. Her wisdom in silence also shows in her ability to control her tongue. She knows that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. A careless insult, a harsh judgment, an impulsive reaction can leave scars that never fade. That is why she chooses her words with care. She speaks to heal, not to wound. She speaks to guide, not to control. She speaks to bring clarity, not confusion. This restraint makes her rare because in a culture addicted to speaking first and thinking later, she chooses to think deeply before she speaks at all. There is also a mysterious beauty in her silence. She does not reveal everything about herself at once, she does not overshare to seek validation, and she does not broadcast every detail of her life to prove her worth. Instead, she allows her actions to speak louder than her explanations. That quiet dignity makes her intriguing because mystery is magnetic. People are naturally curious about the one who doesn't feel the need to explain herself constantly. She becomes unforgettable not by chasing attention, but by holding it without trying. Her wisdom in silence is not about passivity. It does not mean she avoids difficult conversations or hides from truth. It means she chooses her timing. She understands that not every battle is worth fighting, not every criticism deserves a response, not every provocation requires energy. She saves her voice for what truly matters, and when she speaks, it is impossible to ignore her. This discipline makes her influence greater because people know her words are rare and meaningful. This quality also gives her emotional power. By listening more, she understands people more deeply than they expect. She can sense what is unspoken, feel what is hidden beneath the surface, and respond in ways that make others feel seen and valued. That ability to truly listen makes her magnetic, because people crave to be understood, and she gives them that gift. Her silence becomes a form of presence that speaks directly to the heart. Wisdom in silence is the art of restraint, the strength of patience, the discipline of listening, and the courage to speak only when necessary. A mature woman who carries this wisdom does not need to demand respect. She earns it naturally. Her silence is not weakness, it is mastery, and her words are not many, but they are powerful. This is why when she listens more than she speaks, and when her words finally come, they carry a weight that cannot be forgotten. Joy as a daily choice is a rare and powerful habit that sets a mature woman apart from the rest. Life will always offer reasons to complain, reasons to be bitter, and reasons to give up, but she chooses not to surrender to negativity. Instead, she makes the deliberate decision to see the good, to focus on gratitude, and to carry a spirit of positivity into every room she enters. This choice is not about ignoring pain or pretending that hardship doesn't exist. It is about refusing to let hardship define her. That daily decision to live with joy makes her presence magnetic because people are naturally drawn to those who carry light in a dark world. She understands that joy is not something that arrives only when circumstances are perfect. If she waited for life to align flawlessly, she would be waiting forever. Joy for her is not a reaction but a practice. It is the way she starts her mornings, the way she frames her challenges, the way she finds beauty in small, ordinary things. She notices a sunrise, she appreciates laughter, she counts blessings others overlook. By choosing gratitude each day, she creates a mindset that protects her from drowning in negativity. Gratitude transforms what she has into enough, and that contentment radiates out of her. Her positivity is not shallow optimism, it is strength. It is easy to be cheerful when life is simple, but the real test of maturity is being able to hold on to joy when life gets complicated. She has faced pain, disappointment, and loss, but she refuses to become defined by them. Instead of allowing hardship to harden her, she allows it to deepen her appreciation for what is good. This resilience makes her presence comforting. People feel at ease with her because she does not bring heaviness everywhere she goes. She carries an energy that uplifts rather than drains, and that is why she becomes so magnetic. Her choice of joy also affects the people around her. Joy is contagious, and when she walks into a room, her energy shifts the atmosphere. She does not need to force positivity with empty words, she lives it through her presence. Her smile, her calm tone, her hopeful outlook all remind others that even in difficult times, there is something worth holding on to. People gravitate toward her because she makes them feel lighter, and in a world full of stress and negativity, that feeling is irresistible. Another layer of her joy is that it comes from within, not from external validation. She does not depend on others to keep her happy, nor does she chase material possessions to fill a void. She has learned that joy rooted in circumstances can be taken away, but joy rooted in perspective is unshakable. By cultivating inner peace and gratitude, she builds a foundation that no disappointment can completely destroy. This independence makes her strong, and strength wrapped in positivity becomes magnetic to everyone around her. Her choice of joy does not mean she avoids reality. She feels pain, she experiences setbacks, and she knows suffering, but she refuses to let them consume her spirit. She acknowledges the storm, but chooses to be the calm in the middle of it. She acknowledges the darkness, but decides to be a source of light anyway. That choice inspires others, because it shows them that joy is not something you wait for, it is something you create. A mature woman who chooses joy daily teaches everyone around her that life is less about what happens to you and more about how you respond to it. She shows that gratitude turns ordinary days into gifts, that positivity is not about denying reality but about transforming it, and that joy, when chosen again and again, becomes a way of life. Her decision to live this way makes her magnetic, because she becomes not just a woman people admire, but a presence they crave to be around.